Hey parents, if you have a bland, blank slate of a backyard and you want to supercharge it with fun to get your kids excited to play outside, but you have a tiny budget of just $100 to do so, well, you're in luck, because today I'm going to show you exactly what I would do if I was in your shoes. So stay tuned. But real quick, what's up? I'm Jeff. Welcome to my workshop. This channel's Fun-Sized Adventures, where I'm going to try to help parents like you build some backyard fun while keeping it on a budget. So let's get right into it. Now, $100 is not a lot. This is about the amount. I have 4 kids, and when it's their birthday, this isn't normally what we'll spend on gifts for them. So you can kind of look at this as turning a blank slate backyard into a fun backyard on just a birthday budget. Within this budget, I'm going to give you 3 different options of what I would do depending on my kids' age, whether they're like toddler to preschool, elementary age, or maybe in that tween age. Because once they're older, they're probably doing their own thing. And I'm going to be referencing my 3-step backyard fun framework, which is a place to learn skills, to get thrills, and a place to chill. If you didn't see the first video in this series, I lay out exactly why I think those are the key ingredients that every backyard needs. And today I'm going to show you how to build it on this minuscule budget. Let's start out with the youngest kids. These are kids that are probably like age 1 to 4 or 5. My kids at this age all loved nothing more than to play in the sand. So I would run to my local home improvement store and buy some sand and some lumber to frame out a simple sandbox. Now, for about $15 worth of lumber, you could get a 12-foot 2x4 that's going to give you a 3-foot by 3-foot square sandbox, which is small, but if you just have one kid, that'll be plenty, and we're trying to keep this on this tight budget. Then for about $30, you could buy bagged sand, enough to fill that. Then you can go on Amazon and for about $15 get these sand toys, and that will get you a place that your kid is going to want to spend hours if they are in this age range. I know all 4 of my boys would just camp out and get sunburned there playing in the sandbox. And while they're chilling there, they'll also be learning different skills, such as building sandcastles, laying out little roads to drive trucks around and stuff. Now, one thing from our 3-piece framework that this is going to be lacking is that thrill. So what I would do is, as long as you have a tree with a branch that will work, I would buy these swing hangers off of Amazon for about $10, and then this toddler swing for about $25. And that speed of going back and forth, going up kind of high on a swing, that will give them the thrills they need to have a blast in your backyard. And at that point, we're still a few bucks under budget, so I would throw in a little $5 tub of sidewalk chalk so they could learn some drawing skills on your driveway or patio. I would just round out this, and to turn this backyard into a place where your toddler will have hours of fun. Now, if you're already thinking to yourself, but what if I don't have trees in my backyard? Stay tuned to the end, as I have an option that is friendly to yards that don't have any existing trees or things to hang things from. But before we get to that, for the next age group, which would be your 5 to 10 years old, here is what I would do with that $100 budget. Currently on Amazon for $60, you could get this ninja course that not only has your typical ninja course obstacles, but also has this pulley, which is basically a small zip line that can slide down the ratchet strap that makes up your ninja course. So you could put this between 2 trees or stationary objects, have your ninja course at one end, then the other half have the ninja pulley that you could slide down. So that'll keep them busy for hours, not only learning how to navigate their way along a ninja course and the skills needed to do that, but also it'll give them that thrill of going down that ninja slider pulley zip line. Which brings us to a place to chill. Now, for $15, you can get a hammock, which is a great option. It's almost like a little tree fort, a little personal space that they're a little bit up off the ground and just away by themselves. If you have trees, that's great. If you don't have trees, if you have a fence around your yard, maybe in the corner, you could hook it. If this is your corner of your yard, you could hook it over here on the fence and over here on the fence. And where a kid is relatively light, that shouldn't pull the fence down, assuming your fence is properly cemented into the ground. Also, you could try going between a fence and a shed, or a shed and a house. There's different options for how you could do this, as long as they're objects that are well anchored to the ground or very heavy that you're attaching to. And then to round out the budget, we could get these clipboards that open up and you can store paper inside. There's a little opening at the bottom where you can store different drawing utensils. And at that point, we're still a little bit under budget, so let's throw in some colored pencils and other drawing supplies. We can keep those inside of your clipboard there. So when they head out there to their hammock, they can bring that with them, spend some time chilling out, drawing pictures, writing stories, just having some me time up in that hammock in the safety of your own backyard. But now your kid's getting into that tween age where they're getting a little bit of an attitude and you're not super psyched on it. They're gonna be your 11 to like 13, 14-year-olds. This is going to double as the option for people who just don't have mature trees in their yard. Maybe you live in a newer development. I know when I was a kid, they were building sprawling new developments in the area of New Jersey where I lived. None of them had mature trees. Here's what I would do in that scenario. And I know because I hung out with kids in those neighborhoods, and this is what I did back in the 90s, early 2000s, when life was simple. All right, so if you don't have trees like that, odds are there's a lot of pavement around, and you probably have a small driveway or maybe even a road that's not too busy in front of your house. What I would do is for $30, you could get the tried and true Razor scooter. These have been around since I was a kid, and somehow the price is unaffected by inflation. The basic Razor scooter is still $30, and that's a load of fun to just cruise around the neighborhood. It's hard to go wrong with a Razor scooter. Then I would add to that a small jump ramp. I found this one on Amazon, which is a little bit pricier, but it's $55. It's made of wood and it folds flat. It's easy to put away and store. But odds are at your local toy store, you might be able to find plastic ramps that are only like 20, 30 bucks. The reason you can't get them this cheap off of Amazon is they tend to be big and bulky and they're expensive to ship. And with those two things, not only are you learning the skills of riding your scooter around and jumping off of things, but also that's a very thrilling thing to do. I know I spent years of my life taking scooters, skateboards, bikes off jump ramps. There's just a gold mine of fun to be had doing that. Yeah, you're gonna get bruised along the way, but I don't think I ever hit my heart so hard that there's anything really wrong with me long term. You can be the judge of that. And then when it comes to a place to chill, I'm still gonna have to default back to that hammock just because in this $100 budget, there's not a lot of wiggle room to do much more. And then like I mentioned earlier, there's other options that don't require a tree that would allow you to still hang this. And as I'm saying this, it's got me thinking, I think that for probably like 20 bucks, you could probably build out of lumber a apparatus to hang a hammock from, which sounds like a great video idea that I think I'm gonna try to tackle later this summer. So subscribe if you're not already so you can see that when it comes out. And that is going to round out your $100 budget in a way that doesn't require trees and helps your younger teenager have a blast. In the backyard, the driveway, the road in front of the house, annoying the neighbors. But once you figure out a way to hang that hammock up, like I said, it'd be a great place to have a clipboard and draw. It'd also be a great place to read. And a great resource you can get is The Dangerous Book for Boys, which is a book that outlines tons of inexpensive activities and just other information that will be fun for the kid to sit there in their hammock and read, but also gives them some ideas of how to get out there and build some backyard fun of their own for almost no money and take some of weight off of your shoulders, the parent. If you want to know more about that book, check out this video right here. If you haven't seen the first installment of this series where I lay out my 3-step backyard fun framework, check this video right here. Until next time, get out there and have a fun-sized adventure of your own. And I'll see you next time. Peace out, homies.